You know what it is, man. This was about a brother from DC named No Limit. I'm introducing you to a new character. I introduce you to the real of the real. No Limit, aka MacArthur Williams. Listen to how he got it in with the Mexicans in Atlanta. I'm getting ready to break it down. This is my Thursday joint, man. Sit back and let me do what I gotta do because this is how we do. Alright? How we do. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Make sure you like this video and keep it 100. You know what I mean? That's how we do. Alright? Now, I'm going to tell you about MacArthur Williams. This is a brother right here that I met. He younger than me. He one of the youngins out of D.C. But he hold his own. He got a situation where we in the prison, right? So we in the prison and we still got responsibility because we men. So we don't look at it like we locked up so, our women got to fend for themselves. We still fend for our women while we in the joint. So he in there, he's shaking and baking. He sent some money, to a Mexican brother, one of the gang members, right? He working in the kitchen. He sent the money to the Mexican brother and his wife gives him, his baby mother gives him the confirmation number, right? They got a 10-digit code for the confirmation when you send money on Western Union. So when you're in the prison and you send money in the Western Union, you give the person that 10-digit number, and once they got that 10-digit number, they basically don't even need ID. They just go pick that money up. So his baby mother gives him the confirmation number. He gives it to the Mexican brother. You know what I mean? The Mexican brother come back and say, yo, that confirmation number ain't no good. And he's like, nah, it's good. My wife gave me, my girl gave me. We call them our wives while we locked up. So when I keep saying wives, that's what it is. But that don't mean we married. That just means they holding us down. So now he's like, yo, my wife gave it to me. And he's like, man, that ain't no good. So this went on for about 2-3 days. So then the dude come back and he says, nah, the money ain't dead, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? So the girl is still standing on that she sent it, so he's standing on her word that she sent it. Because all we got in prison is our word. That's what I don't understand, right? Let me ride. That's what I don't understand. How when we in prison, we stand together, united. You understand? United. You know what I mean? Because we know divided we fall. But when we come out here, we see the world is standing divided and everyone is falling and everyone is pulling everyone else down at the same time, right? So he taking her word because he's staying united. Say, nah, my girl sent that, man. You got that money. So dude say, man, I ain't get it. So now, my man, No Limit, he thinking that dude trying to play him. You know what I mean? I know the dude think I'm a sucker. He talking about he ain't get it when I know my girl sent it because she sent it. So he feeling some type of way. So as it's moving, the Mexican brothers, all the different gangs, the Border Brothers, the Surenos, they all roll together because they on the East Coast. So the same way when we on the West Coast, New York, D.C., Philly, Virginia, all of us from the East Coast, we move together as one. So on the West Coast, even though the gangs might have issues as far as the Border Brothers and Surenos, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna say no Daniels because no Daniels wasn't even allowed on the compound with the Surenos. Let's get that right. If you want to know more about that, put that in the comments. But there was this one Mexican gang that wasn't allowed on the same compound with another Mexican gang because the Nathaniels, they dealt with blacks. The Surenos didn't deal with blacks. I'm keeping it 100. Y'all put it in the comments. Anybody challenge me. Now, so that's where we at. So now he's sitting there and the vibe changing where he knows some little paisan dudes work with him because he work in the kitchen. He put the food tray together and, they got styrofoam trays like you go to a cookout and they give you a white styrofoam tray. That's what they feed you in. So he put the styrofoam trays together to send it up to the shoe in Atlanta, right? And the other Mexican brothers that's working in the different, gang fractions, they in their feelings, you know what I mean? And they move in a certain kind of way, and they normally cool with my man, but my man sitting there thinking like, yo, they moving a little funny. I thought that was my man. You know what I mean? They looking at me certain kind of way. And as things kept going on, he's looking like, damn, what's going on? So now the Mexican brothers, stop talking to him. So he knows something going on. So he go back to the dude and he said, yo, what's up? You get that confirmation? Because the way it works in prison is when you're a man of your word, because all we got is our word, the Mexican already gave him the work, So being that he got the work, now they waiting on their money. He done did, $10,000, $20,000 worth of business with them over the time that they've been there. So, that little bit of money for the work wasn't really about nothing. So he's wondering like, this dude trying to play me, said like, yo, did you get that yet? Dude said, nah, he didn't get it yet, and he got an attitude. So he walk off. So now when he walk off, next thing you know, two, Mexican brothers, they push up on him, and they pull out the bangers on him. So when they pull out the bangers on him, of course he pull out his bangers, so he's squaring off. So now he don't know what's going on, but he noticed that these dudes is faking, because they don't pull the bangers out, they didn't use it, so he already know he got to use his. You know what I mean? Because it's like on the street, let's ride. And I'm not promoting anything. I'm just telling you what time it is, so I'm not promoting violence. I'm just telling you how the streets work when I'm on the street, period. So now, if somebody pull a gun out on you, you must shoot them. Don't, I ain't gonna say don't, because these rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls would try and run with it that I'm promoting violence. But bottom line is, if somebody pull out a joint on you, you must shoot them, is how the code work on the street. You don't pull a gun out if you're not gonna use it. If your homies find out you didn't use it, you're gonna get punished for pump faking and making the crew look like they pump faking. So being that these two dudes pulled out the banger on them, they pulled out the banger because they was trying to scare them. But we don't do no scaring because we men, and we live to die. You understand that? We live to die. So my man seen they was pump faking. You understand what I'm saying? So my man not gonna let him walk away, because if you pull a joint out, you must use it. So now, nigga, excuse me, because they don't like to use the N-word, you know what I mean? Now, right? If you pull a joint out, you must use it. So they pulled the joint out and tried to flash and think they was gonna talk and walk away. My man was like, nah, y'all done pulled the joint out. Somebody blood got to spill, or else I'm just as much as a bitch as you are. So my man goes in attacking them. When they go doing their thing, the other DC dudes that's there, they jump in, because that's how it is. DC roll together. Round of applause to DC for rolling together. Round of applause for DC for rolling together, man. You know what I mean? Relax. It's not only the DC car that rolled together, all cars rolled together. So being that the homie got an issue, he sat there, and the DC brothers got involved. The other Mexican gangs got involved, because we in Atlanta, they out they coast, so they all came together as one unit. So it don't matter what you got going on. So now they get the rumbling, they get to stabbing each other, So then he goes over to the OM, that's the officer mess hall, and he chilling in the officer mess hall, and then the police come in there, and he see a trail of blood leading from the kitchen where the inmates eat all the way to the officer mess hall. So he hits the deuces. The deuces is the little red button on the side of the radio that goes dee, 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 dee. So he hit the deuces. Now all the police come run down, and when they come running down, they see all the different, dudes stabbed up in the kitchen, because I'm not even gonna front. The DC dudes got out on the Mexicans. You know what I mean? Because they always prepared. But the Mexican brothers, so you understand, the kitchen is like off limits. Nobody carry a knife in the kitchen unless you're gonna use it. So the DC brothers, they always anticipate using their knife, so they carry their knife in the kitchen and everywhere else, but they're not looking for problems. But if problems arise, they handle their business. Let's get that straight. But the Mexican brothers, they out of state, all the way cross country. So they didn't have their knives with them, right? Except for the two that was pump faking. So the DC brothers got out, punished them, They hit the deuces. Police run in there. They see all the bodies laying on the ground and everybody leaking and blood everywhere. So they locked it down. They locked everybody up. One of the Mexican brothers, and this is not to disrespect them, I'm just keeping it 100 the way the story go, because DC was also at the losing end of the sticks before too. You know what I mean? That's just prison. So don't think that nobody could lose. I got cut in my face. I got hit in the head with a lock. You know what I mean? My man Lou Sims got stabbed. I think Tone from DC got hit in the head with a lock over in Colorado. So you could be the biggest of the biggest, but that don't mean you can't be touched. So you rat bastards, oh, he got a scar on his face. Oh, he got hit with a lock in his sock. That's what happens in prison. That's why I'm telling the youth, don't go to prison. It's not worth it. It don't matter who you think you are. You're still fair game. Now, so the police come grab all the bodies off the ground. One of the Mexican brothers they sent out, and like I said, not to disrespect the Mexican brother, just relaying the story proper. One of them died, and they had to what they call resuscitate him and bring him back to life. Now, there was another Sereno brother. Not Sereno, I don't know if it was Sereno, might have been. But one of the Mexican brothers from another gang, they sat there and they was about to die. So being that they're about to die, what they do now is they grab everybody that was around to lock them up for investigation. So they grab my man No Limit, official brother. So now he gets in the shoe, right? So they done picked up all the things, okay, they was rocking and rolling. You know how we do, gunshots. You know what I mean? They rocking and rolling. So they get in the shoe, and while they're in the shoe, they send a Mexican dude up there, to talk to him, because that's how the SIS work. That's like Security Intelligence Services or something that's called in the prison, and they like the feds and the police and the detectives for the prison. So they roll up in the joint, right? And they allowed the Mexican brother to go talk to No Limit to see if they could bring DC back on the compound and the Mexican brother back on the compound. So of course No Limit ain't saying nothing, but him and the brothers talking, and they're talking to each other, but they're not talking to the police. So as they talking, No Limit explains to them what happened. Yo, I sent my money to this dude. He tried to say he ain't get it. Then two dudes came pump faking with their joints, so I set it off. And you understand what I'm saying? And they like, yo, well, it's war. So now they out on the compound. Pay attention to the ride now. Pay attention. They out on the compound. All the DC dudes is holding down No Limit. And, the East Coast brothers, New York, Baltimore, everybody. So when I say DC, I'm just talking about East Coast, because we out of our course all the way in Atlanta. So when that's going on, all the Mexican brothers holding down the Mexican. So then No Limit gets to the phone, and he calls his girl, and he says, yo, I'm in the hole, I'm all right, everything good. And she's like, yeah, what happened? And then he told her, he said, yo, that money you sent, Mexican tried to say he didn't get it, you know what I mean? And I can't get into nothing more, So he said, yeah, all right. So she said, well, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't send it. He's like, what? You didn't send it? And she's like, nah. So all of this could have been prevented, but he was standing on her word, because in prison we only deal with people that we deal with our word with. And that's the same when I move on the street. That's why I move alone. If I die on the streets, I'd rather die alone, because I know that I had my own back. I don't want to die on the street and know I had another dude in the passenger seat and he didn't hold me down. Let me go to my heavenly maker knowing that I did what I was supposed to do, not that my comrade didn't do what he was supposed to do. So now he's like, oh man. So now he had to tell the Mexican. So the Mexican come back up there a couple of days later, man. Because it's like 2 months later, but they keep you locked up and don't let you make phone calls or nothing for all this time. So Mexican come up there, and him and No Limit talking, and No Limit said, yo, I talked to my girl, because he a man, straight man. They said, I talked to my girl, and, I was wrong. I stood on her word. She didn't do what she was supposed to do, so she didn't send it. But let my man know that he got that, because I don't try and rob nobody. If I'm going to rob you, I'm going to take it in your face. I'm not going to take it and say my girl going to send it and not do it, because that's a coward move. And my man do not move with no coward moves. You understand? So when he said that, that's what was able to defuse, That was able to defuse the war. You know what I mean? Because now the Mexican went back to the D.C. dudes, East Coast dudes, Baltimore, D.C., Philly, Virginia, everybody holding down No Limit because he's from the East Coast. But now all the Surenos, the Border Brothers, and all them out there, they holding their people down. So that's how that played out, right? So now No Limit felt bad because his girl didn't send it, and they went to war because she didn't. Up to this day, he don't know why she didn't send it. All that could come up to was like she figured that my baby father doing life in prison. I got this money. I ain't got to do it. I do what I want to do. Because that's how they think when we in there, because everyone is not as loyal. But this is not about her. This is about my man Low Limit and how official he is. So now No Limit, he had the power to keep the war going or stop the war. The same as the Mexican came to see him, had the power to keep the war going or stop the war. But No Limit told him straight up. Right? He said, yo, my girl didn't send the money. You know what I mean? And under normal circumstances, I would send you the money. You know what I mean? Being that she didn't send it and the money's owed. But once your man's, you heard what I said, man's with an S, meaning the two brothers, came and pulled out joints for our army, that means that all debts are paid because now it's war. So whatever resolution we choose for the war, that's what it is. But your man not getting paid because he got paid when he pulled the knife for me, and my comrades got stabbed, your comrades got stabbed, two of your comrades almost died because of that situation. So on the strength of that, I'm telling you, my girl didn't send the money. Your man was right. But once they pulled the joint on me, they got played in blood. Do y'all understand the words that come out of my mouth? This how it works in prison. That's why I tell the youngins, don't go to prison, man. It ain't worth it. So No Limit told them straight up, y'all, you was right, my man. The girl never sent it. I got access to send it now, but I'm not going to send it. Because your mans and them try to take theirs in blood. So they paid. There's two ways to get paid when you're on the street. In cash or in blood. If you owe somebody some money, let's ride. And once again, for you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls, I'm not promoting violence. I'm just telling you how the streets work. That's why I got so much gunshots. Matter of fact, I'm going to give 3 seconds for the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls to tap out. Now get off my damn channel. Can't stand you guys. All right? Now let's get back to where we at. So the Mexican was so official, he already knew if the roles was reversed, that's the way it would be. That once they pulled out the knife, they was paid in blood. So he said, all right, cool. So now my man No Limit thinking, damn, they might be trying to rock me to sleep because they was already acting funny in the kitchen where we work, where I put the trays together to send up to the, to the shoe. That's a special housing unit. So, are they trying to rock me to sleep? But anyway, they agreed the beef was over. It's time to go out. No Limit got his joint on him, and he's ready for whatever because he think that something may go down. Now, this is how DC roll. So now, as soon as he get out, everybody get together. The whole DC car get together to ask No Limit what's going on. No Limit breaks it down, and he explains to them what's going on. Once he explained to them what's going on, they said, well, what you want to do, homie? You know what I mean? So he said, look, I don't want to jeopardize you brothers. They already acknowledged that the debt is paid. We did our thing. We represented. Our name is still intact, that we take no shorts. So we going to move forward. But if they even act or show an inkling that they have an issue with the way it's playing out, you already know what we do, And that's how it is. See, let me ride. Because like I said, DC don't have no shot callers. Everybody called Big Tone Antone White the shot caller. But every man is a man. Every man is a man, and he governs himself. So there is no shot callers because every man is in charge of himself, but we all had the same objective, destination, and motive, and that's to survive and get locked in the cell. Being that I'm riding, let me hit the wheels one more time. Being that I'm riding. See, there's two things that's important in prison. One is getting out the cell alive and well, and getting locked in end of the night alive and well. You understand? Getting out alive and going back in the same way you came out in the morning. So that's how that worked. So now they went to the, the little bull crap that, the homies told them they got him. So now they move it around. And that's how that situation died. But all this played out, right, to give you a message. And like I said, I'm not promoting nothing for you rat bastards. And let's not forget to flip-flop winning public trolls. You know what I mean? I'm not promoting nothing. I'm just letting you know how it is. So No Limit explained to the homies that my girl basically took the money, didn't send it, gave me a fake confirmation, said that, it was sent, and then XYZ happened, and we had to put that work in. You understand? But then now, with the Mexican brothers, to show you how official they are, right? They went and they stepped to the dude because the dude that almost died, right? Listen to this. Dude almost died. He sat there and they came with the mugshot book of the different inmates they think that was involved, or the DC car, and they pointed out, a few of the different brothers that was in the joint. So once they pointed out the brothers in the joint, you already know what that is. All you rat bastards that try and justify what ratting is, there is no justifying what ratting is. Under no circumstances should you tell. End of story. It's just black and white. It's no gray area. So now, being that dude went and told, this is why the Mexicans left it alone. Being that dude identified people out the book, instead of letting his comrades handle it, they went and they stepped to him. And of course, they stabbed him up and ran him up top, as we call it. Rattle the gate, as we call it. Rattle the gate, there's a gate around the lieutenant office to protect them if in case anything happened, we can't run it on them. So you tell a dude, yo, go to the lieutenant office, time for you to get off the compound, you violated. So they go up there, and that's when we tell them, go rattle the gate. So the police is in the office, and they stand outside the gate, they holding the gate, and they rattling the gate. Say, yo, let me in, I can't stay here no more. So now they got to let them in on what they call PC. But the Mexican brothers, even though two of them almost died, they agreed that they man-ratted, so that violated the codes and principles of the prison. So that's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why the Mexican brothers agreed to stand down. And then the DC brothers, it was on No Limit call, and being that his girl didn't send it, he thought she sent it, and that's how it all started. That's how he agreed to stand down on some man time. But bottom line is, they both got their work in. They both did what they had to do. That's what it is. Let's not get it confused. I wanted to give you all the prison story. I haven't given it to you in a minute. I wanted to bring somebody real official to introduce you to. Now, if you'd like to hear more No Limit stories, hit me up, right? And just so you understand, hit me up. I got some more No Limit stories. I'm getting ready to do a Bonaparte story, story. And No Limit has a book that's out, right? No Limit got a book that's out. Let me tell you about this book. Hold on, let me find No Limit so I can tell you about this book that No Limit got out, right? No Limit got a book out called Reese and Slugs. Reese and Slugs is about, remember that joint that they had, I forgot the name of it, with the black dude in black there that was in the South that was running. Man, I can't believe I remember the name of it. But this is what No Limit's book is about. His book is a story about two childhood lovers that lost each other and reconnected later in life. Slugs is fresh out of prison, hoping to gain his status in the game back. Reese had given up on love until she found Slugs. They joined forces to get the bag together while they were still madly in love with each other. Their past threatened to end all of that, so they're fighting against all odds to become top dogs in the city while holding on to their love for one another. That's the book cover on the screen. Cop Reese's Slugs. Cop Aurora in Harlem. I'm back. I've been real busy. I haven't been feeling this YouTube because I see all you rat bastards just saying anything and got these square civilians that don't know what time it is running with it. And I'm not saying all civilians are square. I'm just saying the civilians that try and enter into the street world, don't know nothing about the street world, and try and voice their opinion about the street world. Stay in your lane, because I won't get in your lane. My comrades won't get in your lane. And I'm wearing my Man Time hat. Cop the Man Time hat at AuroraInHarlem.com. Cop the book AuroraInHarlem.com. Matter of fact, I may even put my No Limit book, Reese's Slugs, on my website, so you'll be able to cop it there. I'm talking, firsthand. But of course, I got to check with my man, which I know he ain't got a problem with it. So I'm telling you, you can go find Reese's Slugs over at, AuroraInHarlem.com, where you can get my book. But both of our books are on Amazon. They're doing great. I thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this video, and share this video. You're not going to get better stories. I don't know what to tell y'all or what stories anymore, because there's so much fugazi bull crap with you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls that I don't be knowing where to go. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the video, and keep it moving. Check out my outro. Alright?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them, cause they the truth them, and bless up to all the rudiments.